Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Reed here. Welcome back to another toy review by yours truly. So today I'm coming at you with a bit of a late review, as originally I was planning on doing this earlier in the afternoon. And, well, let's just say a little thing called dead battery happened. So I had to charge my phone because my phone battery is awful. Because if you guys don't know, my phone battery is coming to that stage now where it's just getting worse and worse. And essentially, it's coming to the point now where I'm actually considering, getting a new phone. I know, that's shocking because if any of y'all know me, I'm not too, I'm not too, what's the word? I'm not too, optimistic. That's it. I'm not too optimistic at trying to get a new phone because that's just me. But anyway, enough of my personal ranting. Let's get on to the actual review itself. So today we're taking a look at Bakugan Armored Alliance multi-pack. This time with Sabra X Pyravian Ultra, with Baku-Gear, of course not named, and Howcore X Serpentines Ultra. So that's pretty cool. And we get a couple other Bakugan in this. So as you guys can see on the front render there, we have Howcore X Serpentines and Pyravian X Sabra, or Sabra X Serpentines, whatever. Sabra X Pyravian, I'm dumb, sorry. I was looking at the Howcore X Serpentines and I was mixing the two together. Geez, I'm making my own Baku fusions at this point. Anyway, flip these around to the back of the box. And at the back of the box we have Sabra X Pyravian right there. Then we have Howcore X Serpentines along with Dragonoid Extraterrestrial and Hydranoid and Crikelios. So, as per usual with these videos, we're going to be taking a look at the Bakugan themselves, and then we're going to be comparing them, at least the fusion ones, because these are all fusions actually, to their original counterparts, or at least the ones that I can actually grab on hand. That we'll compare them with other fusions and stuff like that. So let me move the camera a bit, because I actually showed off the sort of my really crappy Fusion Force collection / Armored Alliance collection right now. I'm still working on this collection, as there's still a good bit I haven't done yet. But anyway, let me get the first one out. So the first one we're taking a look at is Dragonoid Extraterrestrial. We're starting with the cores here. So Dragonoid Extraterrestrial looks pretty cool. I quite like him. He is, of course, Chaos and Pyrus, which I believe is his original faction. I can't remember. Oh, wait, no, it's Darkus Pyrus. So, yeah, he's not his original faction. Dang it. But nonetheless, at least I have a version of Dragonoid X Tretorous. So that's pretty cool. Opening him up here, he looks pretty nice, I gotta say. Dragonoid X Tretorous is quite the Hunchback of Notre Dame, as you guys can tell. He has a bad case of Hunchback of Notre Dame syndrome going on. I mean, look at that. Look at that hunchback. My god. And of course, just like any other Dragonoid, you have the classic, bipedal design with the dragon head with the horn and the tiny little wings. Or ridiculously large wings, depends on which Dragonoid it is. In this case, it has tiny wings. And then you got these big, punching fists, which is always cool. And then you got his large tail on the back, too. And he has 600 Bs in this form. So all in all, probably one of the better Fusion Force cores I've seen in a long time. At least getting back into Fusion Force. This guy is pretty cool, so I'm glad I finally have him. So, again, just so you guys can get an idea of what this is supposed to look like, in the original character card art, which you guys can see, Dragonoid X Tretorous, so you can see Tretorous right there, Chaos, and then Pyrus Dragonoid. And here is the Fusion form. Yeah, you're getting a bit of expectations versus reality here. Yeah. But anyway, moving away from that, let's look at the original components, which I happen to have over here. So here we have original Armored Alliance Dragonoid, or at least the core version. And then here we have Aurelus Tretorous Ultra. So as you guys can tell, I do not yet have a Chaos Tretorous at the time of this recording. So for now, we're gonna have to manage with the Aurelus one. But if I can actually move them into a better, view here, you can see how the original components formed the fusion form. Yeah, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it in some areas, like the big fists of Tretorous and the slim, masculine dragon motifs of Dragonoids. So you can kind of see it. But still, there you go. That is Dragonoid Extraterrestrial. All in all, probably my, what do I say? I think he's currently like my second favorite of the Fusion Force cores, let alone the Armored Alliance cores. That, I think he is my, what would I call this guy? I think he might be my top, I think he might be in the top 3 favorite Dragonoids of Bakugan, of the Bakugan reboot series, at least at the time of this recording. As I've actually found out somewhere online, there's another Dragonoid coming out later this month. Not later this month, later this year. We're talking about fall 2021. There's another Dragonoid sort of all-in-one set that's supposed to be coming out. So definitely stay tuned for that, because I'll definitely be grabbing that and reviewing that. But for now, this is one of my top 3 Dragonoids that there is. At least of standard Dragonoids. We're not talking about like Infinity Dragonoid, or Dragonoid Infinity, I should say. Or, whatchamacallit. Or Dragonoid Maximus. Those have their own, those will eventually get their own sort of personal list to myself. But not yet. There's only 2. Once we get more, then I can start actually making a list of them. But anyway, let's get on to the next core here. So next up we have Hydranoid and Crikelios. And again, this looks pretty cool. Fusion. A lot of green mixed with blue, mixed with this sort of baby blue almost. Oh no, it's more like a sand blue, like a light sand blue color. Looks pretty nice, along with the orange. So, of course, let's open him up and let's see what he looks like. And here we go. I almost call him Dragonoid again. Hydranoid and Crikelios looks pretty cool. I do quite like this. My only issue here is that the heads are a bit crazy. And these don't look like Kraken tentacles. They look like a floating hoverboard. But regardless, I do quite like this fusion. You can see what they were going for, but in some areas it does well, like up here, and then towards the bottom it fails a little bit. Because, again, it looks like a hoverboard on the bottom. Like, look at that. Does that look like a Kraken's tentacles to you? Doesn't look like it to me. But there you go. So again, for comparison, here we're going to bring in the original Hydranoid. And in this case, I have a Ventus Crikelios. Now, it's kind of funny because on the character card, it shows a Ventus Hydranoid and a Aquos Crikelios. Focus. Focus. Focus on the card. Okay, hang on a minute while the camera focuses. Okay. It's kind of getting it. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now it's focusing. So yeah, as you can see, there is a Ventus Hydranoid and a Aquos Crikelios, when in reality, I only have an Aquos Hydranoid, which is his original faction, and Ventus Crikelios. That's kind of funny to me. I have the complete, faction flip of these 2 characters. And then back here we got the fusion form, which again is literally just Hydranoid, just with Crikelios' tentacles at the bottom. Honestly, this is kind of terrifying, but at the same time, I love it. Out of all the original fusions that aren't like the main character fusions, this guy's probably one of the coolest. Just my personal opinion. I just really like the idea of just taking 2 snake-like creatures, fusing them together, and then you get this horrifying, massive a thing. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And again, you can kind of make out the toys here in terms of the fusions as well. Since in ball form, you could definitely make out Hydranoid's ball form and how it closed up and the heads were kind of visible during the ball mode. And then, of course, you can somewhat make out Crikelios' tentacles kind of manifesting themselves at the bottom. But very vaguely, sadly. But there you go, guys. So that is him. That is Hydranoid X Crikelios. I keep wanting to call him Dragonoid. I don't know why, but I just keep wanting to do that. I shouldn't want to keep doing that, but yet I do. It's kind of stupid. Anyway. And again, this is a rather late review. So anyways, let's get into the Ultras. We're going to start off with the one with the Baku-Gear. Yeah. So this is Sabra X Pyravian Ultra. So Sabra is a brand new character, as he is this multi-headed dragon thing. And then we have Pyravian, who we saw before, the Phoenix. So pretty cool stuff. Again, in ball form, I love this lustrous sort of shiny gold mixed with this sort of orange, and then you got this nice deep red and green. Definitely screams Pyrus. But also, it has Chaos, oddly, even though I don't see much Chaos minus the, I guess, shiny bits? I don't know. But anyway, this one's definitely more dominant in the Pyrus colors than it is Chaos colors. But let's open them up and let's see what he looks like. So here we go, guys. This is the fusion. This is Sabra x Pyravian. And again, a very interesting fusion because most of this fusion is just Sabra, which is at the top here. You can see the dragon head. You can see the other dragon heads. You can see the wings. You can see the feet. You can see these extra little wings, which actually somewhat act as a third and fourth leg, respectively, for when it actually stands up. And then you got this little back part, which I guess is supposed to be the tail. But then saddled, Pyravian, it's right here. All of the Pyravian part of the Sabra x Pyravian fusion is all right here in its chest, which also looks like where you'd think the junk would be. But hey, at least, but that was coming from my mom, so, you know, take that how you will. Because my mom, you know, obviously buys me these things. So, and, you know, and she's interested in this somewhat. And I kind of chuckled to myself when she was like, wait, is that supposed to be its junk? Anyway, I don't know why I'm even mentioning that. But anyway, I'm going to get on to the actual Baku-Gear section of this guy, because he is the one that's advertised with the Baku-Gear, so here it is. Again, if anybody knows the name of this, please do let me know in the comments, because I would love to know what this thing's actual name is. But as you can see, it is a Pyrus and Chaos looking cannon thing that, of course, you strap onto its back. As you can see, there is an arrow right there, which means you're going to want to face it this way with the symbols pointing forward. Drop it on its back, and you get this big light cannon thing. Pretty cool on its own. But then you get these little blasters as well, which you put on the back like so. Again, can be a little tricky because these wings are a bit fiddly. So you kind of have to finagle with these back wings to get the guns on. That, and when you first put them on, they're relatively tight little you know, hexagonal ports that, you know, to actually plug those in. Now, there you go. That is the full weaponized form of Sabra x Pyravian. Again, very funky looking design. All in all, really like just how large the heads are compared to the sad little Pyravian in the middle. So, but there you go. And now to compare it to the character card. Here you have Sabra x Pyravian right here. So you guys can see there is Sabra at the bottom. Sabra is the multi-headed dragon. And then Pyravian is the, of course, in her classical sort of design from Battle Planet. So that's pretty cool. Flip the card around and we have the fusion form, which again is pretty accurate to the toy form. Pretty accurate. And the only thing that's missing is the multicolors on the heads, and then, well, we got the Pyravian part in the chest region, so that's there. But all in all, I think this is one of the more accurate Ultra fusions. So that's pretty cool. I quite like that. So there we go. Now again, to briefly compare to the original counterpart, or at least one of them, here's the original Pyravian Ultra. So you can see how those two look together. But yeah, sadly, Sabra has not been released on his own yet. So far, he's only been released as part of this Fusion Force character. So that's kind of a shame. But there you go, guys. There you have Sabra x Pyravian. Again, a very fancy-looking fusion. That, and one of the more heavily marketed fusions for Fusion Force. So finally glad to have one of these sort of, you know, big, you know, faces in the Fusion Force lineup. So glad to have that. Next up here, we're going to be taking a look at the last Fusion Force Bakugan. Now, And I know I said in the beginning that I wanted to compare this to the previously released fusions and stuff like that, but I think I'm actually going to save that for another video, considering how late this episode is being put out, or at least at the time of this recording anyway. I mean, quite frankly, it's way later than I probably should have any right of recording, but of course I want to get this video out because me and my short-term memory do not get along well, so I kind of have to do it this way. But anyways, so moving right along, we're going to move on to Halcor X Serpentes, the last fusion. And again, I love this fusion in terms of the ball form, at least to start with. I love the colors already with the purple, gold, green, and black colors. I think that looks really nice together. And then, of course, on one side we get Darkest. On the other side we get Chaos, I believe. Yeah, I believe that is Chaos. No, that's Aurelus. I'm sorry. That's Aurelus. I said that was Chaos. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. But anyway, yeah, that is Aurelus. So this is Darkest Aurelus. So there we go. So anyways, let's get him opened up. Let's see what he looks like. And he looks like this. Quite a funky looking fusion. Again, very, very interesting looking. If we can get up close here, it's going to be hard to see because of the black. But you can see we got the multi-heads of Halcor with the large sort of serpentine wings of, well, Leviathan wings of Serpentes. And I love the way they kind of fold out. They start off like that and they kind of just accordion their way out. It looks really interesting. Gives it this large presence. Makes it look a lot bigger than it really is. That and the tail kind of adds to this size, even though the actual body of this fusion isn't actually all that big. It's actually quite small. But as I said before, and I'll say it for the final time here, the wings is what makes it feel so much larger than this really is. This is an Ultra, but I mean, wow, that wingspan. I mean, quite frankly, in terms of the Armored Alliance Fusion Force figures, I think this guy might have the largest wingspan ratio, actually. Unless another Fusion Force figure comes along and actually has a bigger wingspan or some larger size than this. So far, wingspan-wise, I think this one might actually be the biggest size-wise. But anyway, let's take a look at his character card just so we can see what he looks like there. So as you can see, we have a Darkest Halcor and a Aurelus Serpentes here, which thankfully I do have the original counterparts for these. If the camera would focus. Focus you. The card. Focus on the card. There we go. See? So there we go. See, there's Darkest Halcor right there, and then we have Aurelus Serpentes flying on top. Flip the card around, and we get the fusion form that we saw in the box. And again, looks really, really nice. I really like how beautifully rendered this is, even though the camera is refusing to focus again. Focus. Focus on. There we go. See, looks really, really nice. Quite a nice card this is, actually. Quite nice indeed. So let's take a look at the original counterparts, those being Darkest Halcor and Aurelus Serpentes, which in this case happen to be the core and ultra forms of these Bakugan. Since in the original Battle Planet we did not get a fusion figure. We didn't get a core version of this guy originally. And for Serpentes, I only have his core form as of right now. I do not have an Aurelus Ultra version, at least at the time of this recording anyway. So there you go, guys. There you have the fusioned form there next to the original counterparts. So there you go, guys. Well, guys, on that note, that is going to wrap it up for this video. So that has been the Bakugan Armored Alliance. What do they call this again? The Baku-Gear pack, starring, what is it? Starring, what's his name again? Sabra and Pyravian Ultra with the Baku-Gear, and Halcor X Serpentes. And so there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, or tonight's video, at least for today anyway. Please make sure that if you enjoyed this video, that you guys drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video that I do. Later, Reed Squad, and have a good one.